Valley Club, big news of the week. Shadow King is the next legendary character, and the Astral team is the first Battleworld specific team coming to the game. What should you do to prepare for the arrival of the next meta character and the first Battleworld team? We'll talk about that in this video. We also have some brand new Cosmic Crucible and War rules coming next season. So what am I using on War defense? I'll talk about that in this video. It is also Monday, which means I'm going to get your questions from the mailbag. So if you're ready for all these mailbag Monday questions, then you know what to do, Valley Club. Find that like button and let's go smash it. And welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I am ValleyFlyin and I hope you are having an excellent day. In this video, we're going to talk about Shadow King. We're going to talk about the new rules of Cosmic Crucible and War, and it is Mailbag Monday. We're going to answer all of your questions of the mailbag. But before we do that, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button for more great Marvel Strike Force content. At least 5 Marvel Strike Force videos per week on the channel. Usually more question and answer videos like this, news videos, reveal videos, everything to help your experience in Marvel Strike Force. Well, let's go and talk about the big reveal of the week, Shadow King. Yeah, Shadow King, next legendary character, and is going to be a part of this Astral team, which is going to be the first Battleworld specific team. Now, with this team, they're also going to have callouts in War. The new members of this team, the X-Men version of Emma Frost, so a good guy version of Emma Frost, not the one we have in a game. And we also have the Ancient One coming. Now, I'm thinking it's going to be the bald female from the MCU movies, not the old Chinese man from the comics. Let me know which version of the Ancient One you think is going to be in a game. Which one would you rather be in a game? But those are going to be the 2 new members, the 2 rework characters. Normal Doctor Strange, this original Doctor Strange that got a rework as part of Secret Defenders, as a part of the Supernatural team. Let me know if you think he is gonna suck just as bad as he did on these teams when he's getting that new Astral tag. And Moondragon is also getting a rework as well, which means that the Cockroach is the Infinity Watch, the team that's been around for so long because of their safeguard, their immunity, their defense up. Well, they are gonna be start to get split up as well. So Moondragon, the first one that's gonna be split up. Now, as far as the unlock for Shadow King, you're gonna need 2 teams. You do need the Annihilator team. You do need the Illuminati team. You're probably going to need a few other teams if you're attempting some of these harder difficulties, because as you know from the Old Man Logan trials, it wasn't just Illuminati, it wasn't just Out of Time. You also needed a pretty big Spider Society, you needed a pretty big Super Skrull as well. And as far as those unlocks, well, the big thing here, a lot of people wondering, do you need Captain Britain? As of me recording this, he hasn't had a release method for free-to-play players. He should be added to the candy store this week and should have shards available throughout November as well. But as far as the need of Captain Britain, what it does say in the blog post, all the way back from July 2nd, can I participate in the next legendary event if I do not have Captain Britain? Captain Britain, they say, is not required for the next legendary event. You could be successful with any 5 Illuminati characters, which means that if you have the rest of the Illuminati characters, Iron Man is the one that's going to go into that Captain Britain slot. Okay, but will that event be around a 2 in Captain Britain? Your Illuminati team is strongest when led by Captain Britain. We are not doing the next legendary event to require him to be successful. Also, if unlike Captain Britain and 3 yellow stars, can I use him in the next legendary event, or will it require a specific star level like the Old Man Logan trial? So what it seems are going to be different with this Shadow King, unlike previously, you would have to have characters at a certain star level. They did ease back those requirements with some of these surges and some of these other pack events for legendary characters. They did go back to that on Old Man Logan, so it does look like they're gonna use some different system for Shadow King. And what they say, you can use a 3 yellow star Captain Britain in the next legendary event, though obviously he's gonna be more powerful if you've ranked him up. Let me know what you are thinking for this Shadow King unlock. Which version of the Illuminati you're already gonna use, the Iron Man version or the Captain Britain version? Obviously, you would need to build up your Annihilators, so hopefully you have Thanos, Endgame, Gore, Gladiator, and then obviously Ultimus and Silver Surfer for the rest of the Annihilators. One of the big news is this new Astral team is that they're going to be tied to Battleworld. So we did see that full kit of Shadow King revealed earlier today. The rest of the team should have some callouts to Battleworld, making it a lot easier for Unit Alliance to beat this game mode. But also with the abilities, awakened abilities for Shadow King, get some callouts to War as well. So it looks like this Astral team is going to be a Battleworld/War team. Let me know your thoughts on this. Does it have enough added value for you to be excited about this legendary unlock and this next team? Or would you rather have it tied to a different game mode? Let me know down in the comments. As we move forward to the mailbag questions of the week, thank you for everybody that left a question for this mailbag channel. If you want to get your questions featured on one of these future mailbag videos, make sure you are a member of the Discord. The link is down below. Go to the mailbag question channel and leave your question there. Hey brother, why we got no additional shards for Oath event? I bought over 100 orbs to take advantage of this event and discovered there was no such event. Now, unfortunately, they did announce this in the blog post back on October 4th. Describing the Oath's event. So what they say about her orb, instead of earning progress through a milestone, so they announced that there's not going to be a milestone. There's going to, every 20 Oath Night Stalker orbs open will give you enough fragments to open the New Blood orb, which is her 675 power core orb in the game right now. So they're just switching pity systems. The previous pity system, if you did get bad luck on these orbs, would give you some shards for the character in the milestones. Now they're doing it a little differently. Every 20th orb you open will get you one big orb, the unlock orb for Oath. Now it does have that jackpot of 180. Most of the time you're gonna get only 6 shards from there. So I think it's kind of a wash. I don't think it's better or worse. It's just kind of a little different. Obviously, if you get the jackpot for either of the previous release method or this release method, it's great. If you're not getting the jackpot, though, I think both of them are not that great. But yeah, this is just a new pity system. And unfortunately, with the new pity system, you did buy the orbs. Hopefully, it didn't cost you too much. Hopefully, you got some good stuff in those orbs and wasn't just a bunch of raid energy and character shards that you already have. All right, hey Valley. So first off, my power came back after a while because of the hurricane. So congratulations, my brother. I was thinking it was gonna be a lot worse. The way that the hurricane Milton was progressing in the Gulf, I thought it was gonna be crazier. Luckily, it did reduce in power when it hit landfall. So hopefully, everybody that was without power has their power back or is gonna get it back very, very soon. And I'm glad you're safe, brother. All right, question is, you can make a video about a new player guide containing how to get resources, team placement, etc. Understand the entire point of your channel, but sometimes it's not the best scrolling all the way to find these videos. At the same time, it's outdated. So I have done these in the past, but you're right, I should do a newer version of this because the game always changed, things always change, and obviously production quality over the years have gotten a little better. So yeah, this is something I want to do this week or next week. But yeah, new player guide, getting more resources, that things have changed. You know, a lot of things have been eased up. The raid store used to be crap. Now it's one of the better stores in the game. So that is an interesting thing. And the team placement, something that is a little confusing for newer players. You do have 10 available slots for either your team or your enemy team. So 20 total available. Normally it's going to be a 5-on-5 battle unless you get some summons or unless you're raid and there's multiple waves of enemies. There's a lot of other things that I do want to discuss, but yeah, this is something for a full-length video that I do need to take some time to compile. Now, as I am compiling this, let me know if there's any things that you have questions about as a new player or some things that you think are very important for new players to include in the guide. But I do want to get that done because I know there's a lot of new players that are starting to play the game. But thanks for the question, my brother. All right, hope you and your family are doing well today. Valley, here's my question. And you as well, brother. I hope all your families are doing well. Hope you guys are all doing well. I hope this is a great day for all of you guys. Here's my question. Currently level 99, having difficulty keeping up, especially with the sheer number of characters being released. Said I don't have any of the rework characters building up or built up. What is the best way to try and make meaningful progress, especially since Scopely is releasing so many characters that I just don't have the resources to level them up? So yeah, there's a lot of characters, especially if you're a turning player or you're just starting off and you can get kind of overwhelmed because a lot of these characters did have value at some point, but you know, after their shelf life, they just kind of throw them away and they're just kind of taking up dead roster space. So it does get kind of confusing. So I would point out this, I point out these priorities in the past. So have your priorities of where you want to build up your characters. For me, my first priority is always after, of course, I've done the campaign missions, beat the flash missions, beat the challenges. After I've done all that stuff, because I think that is an important thing as far as farming, but after you build that up, I think you focus on your arena team. That's what I've always done because that is your major source of power cores. Power cores is going to help you in every aspect of the game. You could use them for new characters. You could use them for more energy. You could use them to heal the raids. So a lot of places you use power cores for. So it's always been arena team for me. And then after that, I started to go to raid teams. Now there's 2 raids nowadays. There used to only be 1. The Greeks was kind of an overflow raid, but now with the Spotlight and the Orcus raids, there are 2 raids that you have to build for. One of them does require that Alpha Flight team. So At this point, I would just do the raids in order. So whatever your raid that your alliance is doing, build it up in order that you're going to see those teams in the raids. So in Orcus raids right now, I'm on the left side. So the first section there is going to be the mutants. After that's going to be the mystic. After that is going to be skills. So if you're in that same left side doing the same raids, but maybe a different difficulty, I would build in that order. So I know it get confusing, but if you focus on that way, even with the rework characters and newer characters, focus on what you need. If you have a good arena, you have the raid solve, then start either building for the newer raid teams that are going to replace the ones you already have, or start building for game modes for fun, like Cosmic Crucible and War. That's the way I've always prioritized things. I know some people value different game modes a little more than I do. So if you value these game modes a little differently, you have your own priorities, that's fine. But have a set method in your head where you're gonna upgrade these characters. And again, just for me, arena, then raids, and then everything else is fun after that. Yo, Valley currently have 5+ characters with Raider Purple ISO 3. Been noticing that none of my characters does a bonus attack after their initial attack. Can you test this in a video to see if it's a bug or not, or what attacks triggers a 50% bonus attack on that Purple ISO 3 Raider? Thanks. So when we look at what the Raider 3 bonus actually does, on active ability to crit, apply 1 vulnerable to maximum 5, gain war ready. Active ability to hit 50% chance to attack the bonus attack the target for 90% piercing. And what the T3 does is it adds another 10% chance, so from 40 to 50, and adds more piercing on bonus attacks. So instead of a 90% piercing at level 3, 60% piercing. So that is what it does in total. You're getting extra stats as well. But the answer to this is right here. I didn't even need to answer this. It was answered right away. Brother, don't ask me. If you mean the 30% piercing bonus, it just doesn't do an animation. It does do the damage. So the damage is there. It's a 50% chance to do the bonus attack. And when it does that, it's just added bonus there. It brings it to from 60% total piercing to 90% piercing total. Hey, ValleyFlyin, who should I put in Dark Dimension 7 Global? The Illuminati and Black Knight and Nightcrawler. So I'm thinking that Illuminati you're talking about is Hank Pym, Black Panther, Shuri, and maybe Captain Britain for the 3, and then rounding out that team with Black Knight and Nightcrawler. I think that is a great team, and I know a lot of people use that team in Dark Dimension 8. The other option is the Orcus team, which is a raid team. So I think it depends what you want to benefit from. The Illuminati is more of a Cosmic Crucible team. Same with Black Knight, not really used in the raids, supposed to be a war character, but more of a Cosmic Crucible / war character right now. Nightcrawler has a lot of value in the raids and the various game modes. And then Orcus is pretty much just the raids and the added value you have in Cosmic Crucible and war right now. So depends what is more valuable for you. For me, it would be the raids, because as we talked about before, raids have a higher priority in my building of my characters, and then it goes to Cosmic Crucible and War. Maybe a different valuation than you. I don't think it's a right or wrong answer. There's always a few different ways to approach Dark Dimension. The characters that are going to be good in Dark Dimension, the characters that are going to be cheap, or the characters you're going to use after Dark Dimension. So I think in this situation, these are good characters. They're going to be okay in Dark Dimension. They're not really cheap, but for this, I would base it on which ones you're going to use a little bit more. And because Orcus is a little more current, for me, it'd be Orcus, but I don't think you'd go wrong either way, as long as you know what you're gaining and what you're losing by investing in one over the other. Second question is, with Captain Britain coming up free to play, should we expect his awakened abilities to return as well? I don't expect anything from Scopely. I expect nothing from Scopely. That way, if we get something by surprise, I'm always happy. But they did mention the shards. They weren't too specific about the awakened abilities or anything like that. So hopefully we get the awakened abilities, but I wouldn't be expecting them. If they pop up in the candy store, I'm going to be buying them. But yeah, I'm just expecting the shards as of right now. ValleyFlyin got 2 questions for you. Would you recommend upgrading Moon Knight for Dark Dimension 6? And which time heist offer do you think is the best? So let's talk about the time heist offers, because there's a lot of different ways we could go with the Dark Dimension. And as far as the time heist offers, we got 2 main ones to discuss. This time heist 98 and this time heist 95. Now, obviously 98 for the same price is gonna get you a lot more progress, but let's talk about these teams. Spider Society is a good team. New Avengers, pretty much a war team right now. They're kind of out of the meta. Secret Defenders, Quicksilver, kind of out of meta. Doctor Strange is going to get a rework as part of the Astral team, but when we look at the other team, The Alpha Flight, very good team. The Mercs from a great war team. And you got some Crucible / war value in these reworked Superior 6 characters. I think even though the Spider Society is one of the stronger teams in the game, I think you go with the level 98 just for these extra levels, more stars in these characters, and more current teams. I do like the Spider Society better than the other teams, but not the new Warriors, or not the new Avengers, not the Secret Defenders. So I think 98 is the way to go with this. But looking at Dark Dimension 6, well, Moon Knight is in a city section, and you have some good options with the city section. You could go Moon Knight, Blade, Oath, and invest in the Night Stalkers right now, but Agatha's gonna have a different trait. Man-Thing's gonna have a different trait, so you can't invest in that full team for Dark Dimension 6. You can in the Spider Society though, and they're an older raid team. They still have a lot of value. They're not gonna be phased out for a while. They're needed for both the Spotlight and the Orcus raids, and even in Dark Dimension 7, full Spider Society can pretty much auto through all those nodes. Now you might want to split your traits. You got traits. You got a lot of skill characters in the Spider Society. So I think the two best options are to lean into the new team, the Night Stalkers, or to go back with the Spider Society, the tried and true team, the one that you know is gonna beat it. And for myself, I would go Spider Society at this point rather than going some Moon Knight. He's a little expensive. Blade, which is a good character. Oath is a good character, but instead of investing in these characters that don't have a full synergy, I would just go Spider Society because the raid value, because the value in Cosmic Crucible, the value in War. Although if you're a little more forward thinking than me, you may want to just invest in the new raid team that's going to have value in other game modes as well. Not necessarily a bad choice going full Night Stalkers, but not something that I would recommend right now. My recommendation is still going to be the Spider Society, at least until we get the full Night Stalkers team fully farmable, or at least fully available in the game. Our next question, I'm a returning player at about 2 years off level 85. What are the biggest tips and changes to the game? Who should I focus on first? There has been a lot of changes to the game. I think the biggest change is the farmability of the characters. Initially, their release events are kind of non-existent, but within 4 to 6 months, you should be able to farm that character. Hopefully by 6 months, you get a brand new character to 7 gold stars. That I think is one of the bigger changes. The raid store is a lot better, but I think the focus is going to be the same for you. No matter where you are in the game, if you're starting off, if you're returning, focus on building that arena team, get that up and running, then go for your raid teams, and then go for your War and Cosmic Crucible. If you haven't beaten any of the campaign nodes, or you still have some campaign nodes to beat, either the normal campaign or the incursion campaign or the ISO 8 campaign, make sure you go back and beat those, the challenges, the flash events as well, and then you start to focus on your teams. I think that is who you focus on, what you focus on, and just kind of a general tips. If you have some more specific questions, let me know for next week's video. But yeah, I think those are good general tips. Just focus on those teams, focus on your priorities. You can't invest in everything that you want, so you do need to have priorities and build up those high priority items first and then start to work your way down. Hey again, Valley, thanks. 2 questions in one video. I was just thinking for the next legendary, I don't know if I should upgrade my Silver Surfer first or my Illuminati. Well, Silver Surfer, I would say, is kind of the Doctor Strange or Photon of the Annihilators. They're kind of the other characters that are going to be in the game and not really have a life after an arena. So you're probably going to want to invest in them a little bit for Shadow King, but not invest in them too much, because Silver Surfer is not going to give you a lot of value in Crucible or in War. Maybe he will in specific teams and things like that, but in general, you're going to be using other teams there. Now, the other option is Illuminati. Again, Illuminati is more of a Crucible team. It does have some value in War, but their main value is going to be Crucible. So those are what you would do that for. And as far as Alpha Flight, Spotlight raids, they're very good on War defense as well. So depending on your priorities, if you're thinking very close to Shadow King, I'll try to make sure that I have that Shadow King unlocked, at least at that star levels for these characters, build them up, then start focusing on other things. If you want to go to make sure your raids are done, Alpha Flight is a good way to go, but I probably wouldn't go Illuminati first unless you have some other foundational characters and teams built up. Last question of the week, Valley, what is your plan for War season and then new defenses? So the past season was all based about Spider-Verse Hero. This one is gonna be about the Mystic characters. So primary hit, if the target has bleed, Night Stalker allies are gonna apply trauma. Bifrost allies are going to get more stats as well. And as far as what I plan to do on defense, well, I'm going to make a few changes. This room, the Night Stalkers room, they're going to go from defense to offense because of the bonuses that they have on offense. If they are, if the attacking target is bleeding, you're going to get that trauma there. Other thing I'm going to do is switch out the Spider Sighting. Maybe not take him off of defense, but definitely put the Bifrost back on defense because of 20% primary stats they're going to get. Now, probably would have to put Valkyrie in there because Bifrost, they can die pretty easily. Unless you have someone like Valkyrie that's going to give a lot of bonuses after a character dies. They're going to be a lot more effective with Valkyrie. So this is what I'm looking at for war defense. Got to make some changes in room 1 and in room 9, but pretty much this is what I'm going to use on defense in the next season of war, at least starting off for the next season of war. If you have any differences than what I'm doing, let me know down in the comments though. And I want to give a big shout out again to everyone that left a question for this week's mailbag video. If you do want to leave a question for one of these future mailbag videos, which we do every week or so, make sure you are a member of Discord. Links down below. Mailbag channel question on the Discord server. Leave your question there. I go there every single week. Hopefully you got a lot of value from this video. Hopefully all ready for Shadow King and the next season of Crucible and War. If you did get some value from this video, leave it a like. It is free for you. Tremendously helps the channel. And if you want to see the full kit reveal for Shadow King, check out the video up there. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day. Hulk fist bump. ValleyFlyin out.